Trump presses GOP to change Senate rules. The Trump administration is putting pressure on Senate Republicans to crack down on Democratic efforts to delay its agenda, fueling talk about the need for rules reform among Republicans on Capitol Hill. Republicans are in discussions with Democrats about bipartisan changes to Senate rules to speed up consideration of President Trump's judicial and executive branch nominees, but if that effort flounders as similar ones have in the past, they're not ruling out unilateral action. White House patience with the Senate's backlog of nominees is wearing out, as Vice President Pence made clear during a private meeting with the Senate Republican Conference on Tuesday, according to lawmakers who attended the discussion. White House Legislative Affairs Director Mark Short on Friday accused Senate Democratic leader Charles Schumer, DNY, of weaponizing the rules to keep executive and judicial branch positions vacant. Short noted that Democrats have required Republicans to hold 79 cloture votes on nominees during Trump's first 14 months in office. That's roughly 5 times the number of the last 4 administrations combined, he said. A cloture vote ends dilatory action on a bill or nominee and is often used to end filibusters. It requires 60 votes to pass. During the first 14 months of the past 4 administrations, a span of 56 months under Presidents Obama, George W. Bush, Clinton, and George H. W. Bush, the Senate held 17 such votes, according to Short. He promised that Trump would begin to speak out aggressively in response to what he called historic obstruction. "I think that perhaps I'm a warm-up act for him making a larger foray into this," Short told reporters. He said Trump would make his case to the American people that the objection has gotten ridiculous. A spokesman for Schumer on Friday blamed the administration and Senate Republicans for the backlog of nominees. "This administration has been historically slow in submitting nominations and has withdrawn more nominees in the first year than any of the past 4 administrations," said the Schumer aide. The Democratic aide also noted there are currently 145 nominees awaiting action from Republican-controlled committees. Trump has withdrawn more than 20 nominees and failed to submit nominations for key State Department posts such as the ambassadorships for Cuba, Egypt, Honduras, Iceland, Ireland, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and Sweden. Senate Republicans are reaching out to Democrats in hopes they might agree to changing the Senate rules to shorten the amount of time it takes to process nominees. Senator James Lankford, R. Oklahoma, is spearheading that effort. "We're desperately behind on judges and noms," Lankford told The Hill. "We've had a cloture vote 80 times. That's more than the last 4 presidents combined." A Republican aide said Lankford has had some positive private conversations about this with Democrats, many of who realize that this trend is really, really bad. But such bipartisan efforts have fallen short in the past, prompting speculation among some GOP senators that changing the rules with 51 votes, a controversial tactic known as the nuclear option, may be the only way to get something done. "We need to reduce the amount of post-cloture time for nominees. The amount of time we now spend is ridiculous," said one GOP senator who requested anonymity to discuss Tuesday's conversation with Pence. Senate rules require 30 hours to elapse on the floor once the Senate votes to end dilatory debate on a nominee, which empowers the minority party to eat up the calendar by refusing to yield back time. The use of the nuclear option, which Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, RKY, employed last year to eliminate the Democrats' power to filibuster Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch, wouldn't likely happen until the next Congress. Republicans control only 51 seats and Senator John McCain, R. Arizona, hasn't voted since early December, reducing their effective majority to 50. A single GOP defection would scuttle any attempt to change Senate precedent through a ruling of the chair, which needs to be sustained by a majority vote. Republicans, however, hope to expand their majority. National Republican Senatorial Committee Chairman Cory Gardner, R. Colorado, pointed to an Axios poll this week showing that if the election were held today, Republicans could capture as many as 5 Democratic-held seats. In a Wall Street Journal op-ed published in August, Lankford argued for shrinking the amount of time required to elapse after cloture has been filed on executive nominees from 30 hours to 8 or less. He pointed out that the Senate adopted this expedited process for a short time in 2013 under former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, DNEV, who also invoked the nuclear option to eliminate filibuster for executive branch nominees and judicial nominees below the level of the Supreme Court. It worked then and it would work now, Lankford said. There is strong support among junior Republican senators for changing the rules. The intention of the original filibuster and cloture was to allow for extended debate of issues, not for obstruction of a party's administration by delaying of nominee votes.